now this one is a little bit, maybe a little bit controversial. And it's about, is something growth or is it just avoidance? And what the dark side of the self-help culture is. So let's get into this one, because this one's quite a juicy one. So personal development is beautiful. We all know that. It's a beautiful concept. It's something that can make people's lives so much better. But what happens when that healing becomes a hustle? And I want to explore how self-help can sometimes be another form of avoidance. So instead of actually helping yourself, what you're doing is you're actually avoiding a situation and disguising it as self-help. Another thing that we do is spiritual bypassing. And this is when you use positivity to avoid pain. So we say things like, everything happens for a reason, you know. And yeah, I'm a great believer in that. Everything happens for a reason. You put on a certain path for a certain reason. I'm a great believer in fate, but also that you can, you know, you have your fate line, but you can deviate off that, because we are human beings that can make up our own minds about stuff. And although that sounds really nice, saying everything happens for a reason, sometimes we just need to grieve for whatever that is. You know, it could be a person, it could be a relationship breakdown, it could be a loss of a job, it could be that you're just going into the next phase of your life and you're grieving the other phase of your life because you're scared of what's around the next corner, or, you know, what's happening, that kind of thing. So is that where you find yourself? The other thing that we do is we avoid real feelings. So if you're using healing tools to avoid hard truths, like never talking about your anger, or you're never resting, you're constantly going all the time, then that's avoidance in a wellness outfit. So you step into your wellness outfit, you put that on, you wear it as a cloak, you put on your mask, and you do all the things to avoid what's actually true and what's going on underneath. And that ain't going to get you anywhere either. So what does real growth look like? Well, it's messy. It includes a number of things. So it includes rest, it includes some discomfort, it includes you slowing down. You know, it includes lots of different things that you put into the pot to make this beautiful pot of stew. You know, you can't just put one or two things in there and expect it to taste wonderful. You've got to put loads of different things in there. And sometimes the things in there that you put in that you think, oh, I don't really like that. You know, I don't like the taste of that. But once it's in the stew and you don't really taste it, it's beautiful. So that can be the discomforting part of it. Real growth doesn't mean fixing yourself. It means being with yourself fully. You know, you don't have to be fixing yourself all the time. You can just be with yourself and embrace that instead. So the thing I want you to think about is you don't have to constantly improve. You know, you get to just be you, and that's a beautiful place to be in, just being you. And the most powerful healing happens in the silences and the stillness, because that's the time when you can do your reflections, and you know, you can do it without it being a million miles an hour. So I hope that's been helpful for you, and you know, if it resonates with you and you feel that that's you, then at least you can address that problem and try and sort it out from there. And as always, if you need any help, you know where I am. You can message me, email me, you can go on my website, there's a link in my bio. There's loads of different help available. So I shall see you all again soon. Bye for now.